Welcome, Beatles fans! Today we're diving into the story of one of Paul McCartney's earliest and most beautiful compositions, I'll Follow the Sun. Written when Paul was just 16, tucked away for years, and finally recorded for Beatles for sale in 1964, this song carries a history as charming as its melody. But how much do you really know about it? From bathroom recordings in Liverpool, to knee-slapping percussion, to Paul finally performing it live decades later, this quiz will test your Beatles knowledge. So, grab your scorecards, because here are 12 multiple-choice questions to see if you can truly follow the sun with the Beatles. Question number 1. Why did the Beatles decide to include I'll Follow the Sun on Beatles for Sale in 1964? A. John insisted it was his favorite early song. B. They were short on new material. C. George Martin wanted more ballads. D. Fans requested it in letters. The answer is B. They were short on new material in late 1964. Under pressure to finish an album for Christmas, Paul dug out older songs like I'll Follow the Sun to fill the gap. Fun fact, producer George Martin later called it his favorite track on Beatles for Sale. Alright, let's rewind even further, back to the Quarry Men days. Question number 2. Where did the Quarry Men record an early version of I'll Follow the Sun in 1960? The Cavern Club? B. Forthlin Road bathroom. C. Abbey Road Studio 2. D. The Casbah Club. The answer is B. It was recorded in the bathroom at Paul's home, 20 Forthlin Road, during a school holiday. Fun fact, the rough tape featured Paul, John, George, Stuart Sutcliffe, and Tommy Moore. Fast forward a few years to the Abbey Road sessions, and even the roadies had a role to play. Question number 3. What unusual role did roadie Neil Aspinall play during the October 18th, 1964 session when I'll Follow the Sun was recorded? A. He played tambourine on the track. B. He fetched fish and chips for the band. C. He helped Ringo mic his knees. D. He tuned George Harrison's guitar. The answer is B. Neil Aspinall was out getting fish and chips while the band began recording I'll Follow the Sun that evening. Fun fact, that same marathon session also produced I Feel Fine and Mr. Moonlight. Speaking of unusual roles, Ringo didn't use his drum kit at all. Question number 4. What unique percussion did Ringo use in the final recording? A. Tambourine. B. Cardboard box. C. His knees. D. Maracas. The answer is C. Ringo slapped his knees in rhythm. Fun fact, Paul wanted a subtle sound, so Norman Smith placed a mic between Ringo's knees and boosted the EQ for depth. Now here's one for the guitar fans. Question number 5. Which Beatle was frustrated about not being allowed to play the solo at first? A. Paul McCartney. B. John Lennon. C. Ringo Starr. D. George Harrison. The answer is D. George Harrison. Fun fact, John initially played the solo on acoustic guitar, but George insisted on doing it since he was the lead guitarist. Let's talk dates. Do you know when the studio version was actually recorded? Question number 6. What date was the studio version of I'll Follow the Sun recorded? October 18th, 1964. B. November 17th, 1964. C. December 15th, 1964. D. October 21st, 1963. The answer is A. October 18th, 1964, during a marathon 9-hour session. Fun fact, that same day they also recorded I Feel Fine and Mr. Moonlight. And it wasn't just the Beatles making musical choices. George Martin left his fingerprint too. Question number 7. What unusual contribution did George Martin make to the song? A. He wrote a counter melody for John. B. He played piano. C. He wrote new lyrics. D. He played tambourine. The answer is A. George Martin wrote John's descending harmony line in the bridge and taught it to him that day. Okay, time to test your album knowledge. Question number 8. On which UK album was I'll Follow the Sun first released? A. Help. Beatles for Sale. Seeing with the Beatles. D.I. A Hard Day's Night. The answer is B. It appeared on Beatles for Sale in December 1964. And across the pond, American fans got a different version. Question number 9. Which US album first featured I'll Follow the Sun? A. Beatles 6. B. Beatles 65. C. Meet the Beatles. D. The Early Beatles. The answer is B. Beatles 65, released on December 15th, 1964. Fun fact, that album sold 3 million copies and topped the Billboard charts for 9 weeks. Here's one for the collectors. A later compilation paired it with one of the Beatles' most famous ballads. Question number 10. Which compilation placed I'll Follow the Sun right after Yesterday? A. Love Songs. B. Rock and Roll Music. C. The Red Album. D. Anthology. The answer is on Love Song, 1977. Fun fact, its romantic tone landed it as track 2, though its lyrics are arguably about leaving rather than love. Decades later, Paul finally brought it to the stage. Question number 11. When did Paul McCartney finally add I'll Follow the Sun to his live set lists? 1969, B. 1989, C. 2004, D. 1973. The answer is C. 2004. Fun fact, he included it in his European summer tour, nearly 40 years after the Beatles recorded it. And here's the final question about a very special live performance in Los Angeles. Question number 12. Where did Paul perform a famous live version later released on Amoeba Gig? A. Shea Stadium. B. The Cavern Club. C. Amoeba Music, Hollywood. D. The Royal Albert Hall. The answer is C. Amoeba Music, Hollywood in 2007. Fun fact, this secret show was released in 2019 as Amoeba Gig on CD and vinyl. How many did you get right? Whether you're a casual fan or a Beatles historian, I'll Follow the Sun proves that even Paul's earliest songs could shine decades later. Don't forget, tomorrow may rain, but the Beatles will always be the sun.